Howdy. So, this week we're talking a bit about Jesus being the Prince of Peace. Now, when hearing the discussion about Jesus bringing peace, we look at the idea of wholeness. And there was the contrast between peace in the sense that we oftentimes think of peace and peace in the way that God understands peace. So, in looking at the concept of our sense of peace merely meaning a lack of conflict, oftentimes we think of peace as keeping the peace. We want to be able to see that people are not fighting, that things are going okay. We just want everything to be smooth because we don't want to have to deal with issues. We don't want to have to deal with the idea of arguments or people disagreeing with each other. But the problem is that oftentimes our status quo in our world is oftentimes built on mistreatment of others or injustice or some lack of grace or mercy. The thing is that oftentimes we are keeping the peace by not dealing with the issues that are in front of us. And the thing is that when we look at the idea of Jesus being the Prince of Peace, it's not Jesus is the Prince of keeping the peace. Jesus even says in Matthew 10, "Do not think that I have come to bring peace. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword." And he talks about the idea of creating these conflicts between family members and friends and people who care about each other. And the idea that he is going to be such a polarizing figure that they're going to be split over what it is to follow him and whether they even should. The thing is that oftentimes what we find is that we are faced with decisions and issues that require us to confront people that we don't want to confront. The thing is that oftentimes we're realizing that the people that we respect the most, the people we care about the most, the ones we have to spend the most time with, oftentimes we can see them saying or doing things that are completely against what we know that Jesus Christ came to do. The thing is that we can hear them speaking ill of the widow and the orphan or the foreigner or all the people that Jesus kept coming in and saying that he was there to bring hope and grace and mercy for. Even whenever we see stories of how the Canaanite woman comes to ask for there to be some level of healing for her daughter, and what are the disciples saying? Send her away, she's bothering us. They want her to go away because she's annoying them. She is disrupting their sense of peace. But Jesus doesn't just pander to what they want. The thing is that it's very easy for many of us to just pander to the squeaky wheels, to just want to try to keep things copacetic. We don't want to rock the boat. But the problem is that oftentimes the boat is traveling in a direction that will hurt others. And Jesus looks at her and basically he starts off by pushing her and pushing her buttons. Should I give the bread to the dogs? And it's like, well, yes, but there are even crumbs that fall from the table. And the thing is that Jesus does not make this easy at all. He pushes her because he wants her to demonstrate just how much she knows that she needs him, just how much she knows that he is the only place that she can go for hope and healing. And the thing is that we are facing a world in which we have answers to everything, solutions from this person, this group, that group. And oftentimes it's the very people that are supposed to be the good guys in our world that are oftentimes doing the worst things. And oftentimes when we think we know who the good guys are, that's usually when they have us fooled the most. So that's the thing when we think about what it is to pursue peace. Peace is not about keeping the peace. Peace is about righteousness. And sometimes pursuing what is good and right means that we do have to deal with conflict. We do have to face things. We have to have arguments. We have to struggle with issues. Not because we want to stay in the conflict, but because that conflict is already there. A conflict between God and sin. And unless we're willing to face those conflicts in the name of Christ Jesus, nothing will change for the better.